Look, I reckon Caitlin Clark is going to be even better coming into the season. Just look at her arms, for God's sake.
Remember when Gino Auriemma said Caitlin Clark was too skinny for the WNBA? Those words must be echoing in his head right now as Clark shows up to her second season looking completely transformed.
She's just not built for the physicality of this league.
Yeah,
and she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality. So there's a lot of learning curve, like Diana said.
Have you seen Caitlin Clark lately? She's bulked up, especially in her arms, turning all that talk about being too skinny into pure motivation. The frame opponents once targeted has been replaced with a stronger, more powerful build. The question isn't whether she can handle the WNBA's physicality anymore. It's whether the league is ready for this version of Caitlin Clark.
So Caitlin Clark is one of the best and well-known basketball players on the planet right now. And this past offseason, she worked really hard to add 8 pounds of muscle to her frame to give her an additional edge on the offensive and defensive ends of the court. And it clearly paid off because she was able to finish around the rim better and play tougher on-ball defense.
Let's go back to when Gino Auriemma questioned if Caitlin Clark was built for the WNBA. At the time, there was truth to it. Defenders physically overpowered her, knocking her off balance and limiting her impact. Remember that game against Connecticut? Clark hit the floor 3 times in the first quarter alone. The physicality was a real challenge, forcing her to adapt or get left behind.
remember the version of Caitlin Clark that came out and, like, let's be real, got bullied by Dejanay Carrington in that first game. Then in her second game, got bullied by Benijah Laney-Hamilton. In her third game, got bullied by Benijah Laney-Hamilton. No, she was all right in the second time they played Liberty. In her fourth game, got bullied by Dejanay again for a lot of the game.
Clark struggled to navigate screens without getting demolished. Driving to the basket, she'd get bumped off her path. Creating space against stronger defenders felt nearly impossible. Her elite shooting and passing could only compensate so much for that physical disadvantage.
And throughout the season, struggled when it came to her defense because they couldn't really put her on small forwards because she would get bullied, and they couldn't put her on guards because, look, she's an average at best defender on ball.
Basketball analysts like Rebecca Lobo highlighted this issue midseason, noting that Clark's frame could limit her ceiling. She had the skill set of a superstar, but lacked the physical build to withstand the league's relentless physicality. These concerns weren't just speculation. They were legitimate questions about her long-term success.
Well, I mean, Gino Auriemma was talking about Caitlin Clark and Paige being the same build. Yeah, they're not the same build right now.
Clark doesn't accept limitations. She heard every critique, felt every tough battle, and responded with action. Instead of making excuses after her season final, where she shot just 4 for 16 while getting bumped off her spots, Clark immediately committed to a targeted strength program designed to build functional power.
Well, a lot of stuff yesterday, a lot of people were talking about it. Just how much bigger Caitlin Clark has gotten. That's all people are talking about. So obviously, if you're looking at the picture with her with Serena Williams, like, her arms look a little bit bigger, but it's kind of hard to tell from there.
Those recent pictures of Clark with Serena Williams say it all. The transformation is undeniable. Her arms and shoulders are visibly stronger, more defined, and built for battle. The muscle mass she's added completely changes her physical presence on the court, a stark contrast to her rookie frame.
But, like, how much bigger Caitlin Clark's arms are than last year? It's mad.
This wasn't just natural progression, it was a calculated transformation. The before and after pictures leave no doubt. Clark committed to reshaping her body with a purpose. She's added strength without sacrificing mobility, ensuring she can absorb contact, fight through defenders, and dictate her own space on the court.
And we've seen it again more and more throughout this offseason, like pictures of Caitlin Clark, just how much she is bulked up. And again, it's a sign of somebody that is very clearly working her way towards being, well, no longer the skinny guard that they said was not big enough.
Clark's new build is reminiscent of a soccer midfielder like Catherine Dane or Julie Ertz, blending explosive strength with lightning-fast agility. She's now built for absorbing contact, holding her ground through physical plays, and executing her signature skills without hesitation. This transformation isn't just about adding muscle, it's about eliminating the physical limitations she once faced. The Caitlin Clark of her rookie season, who was pushed around on the court, is no more. Instead, she's become an athlete who can dish out some serious physical play herself.
And not only that, like Caitlin Clark has, I don't, I hope that Caitlin Clark has not put on, because in fairness, she doesn't look like there's too much size being put on. But compared to last season, how much bulk she has put on. You would hope, again, for a Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin Clark is built like a soccer player.
Clark's transformation is a game changer. Adding muscle allows her to initiate contact instead of absorbing it. With her newfound strength, she can now create more space when setting up her signature step-back three. This shift elevates her ability to execute plays and makes her even more difficult to defend. It's about maintaining finesse while adding the power needed to compete at a higher level.
Funnily enough, I don't think it's going to have effect on the pace that she plays at, because if you watch Caitlin Clark play, the pace that she plays at is more here. Like, Caitlin Clark is much faster here than she is, like, physically. And that's one of the things I don't think people really know.
Clark's improved ability to finish at the rim is a game changer. Last season, she'd often get knocked off balance after making a great move, leading to missed opportunities. But now, with added strength, she'll power through that contact, converting those plays into points. This isn't just a win for Clark, her teammates benefit too. Her enhanced strength means she can set solid picks, creating more space and offensive options for the Fever that weren't possible before. It opens up a whole new layer of potential for their offense.
As well as that, like how she gets Zaza Pachulia'd, how often people try to undercut her on jump shots, and she seems to just be made of elastic.
Defensively, Clark's transformation is a total game changer. Last season, teams often exploited her on switches, backing her down with bigger players. But now, with her added strength, she can hold her ground against those drives and post-ups. This shift makes the defensive scheme more flexible, as Clark is no longer a liability on that end. Her ability to stand her ground allows the team to be more dynamic and aggressive in how they handle mismatches. This will give her a huge edge in both one-on-one situations and in overall team defense.
She's built like a long distance runner, like her natural build, which is why there hasn't been too many injuries. She's got that elasticity that doesn't seem to really be too common as far as WNBA players are concerned. Like, considering whether it be WNBA in college, she doesn't put that much force through her legs, considering how much speed she uses. Like, there's not that much change of direction. She's just downhill at one speed.
While muscle gain offers benefits, it also poses risks, such as decreased lateral quickness or flexibility. Clark will need to strike the right balance, gaining strength without losing agility. Diana Taurasi's early struggles with muscle gain highlight the importance of adjusting for.
I would hope that bulking up, there are definitely times where that has caused more injuries. So I would be a little bit concerned for that, but there's not much of a concern. There's genuinely not much of a concern.
Clark's mental processing speed is a game changer. Even if her foot speed drops slightly, her ability to outthink defenders gives her a distinct edge. The coaching staff's decision to reduce her minutes to around 31 per game isn't a sign of concern, but rather a strategy to ensure she stays efficient and fresh, maximizing her impact while managing her new physical load. This approach sets her up to stay productive without overexerting herself.
I would be very, very interested to see what ends up happening when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Like, I do think there's no question about it that Caitlin Clark bulked up throughout last season. Like, this is footage of her when she was in June. Like, you could see that Caitlin Clark 100% like bulked up through the season, but especially post All-Star break. But we've seen in the off season, like, there's no question about it. In the off season, there has been, I know obviously she's flexing in one and on the other.
Clark's off-season transformation wasn't just about refining skills, it was a total rework of her body to overcome her biggest critics. That dedication is what elevates her from a great player to a potential legend.
But it's going to be really interesting to see her coming up against guards, with her no longer being that young guard.
Clark's transformation allows the Fever to ditch last season's defensive adjustments. Now, with her added strength, the team can focus on aggressive rotations and pressuring ball handlers, freeing up the coaching staff to implement their preferred defensive system without needing to worry about protecting Clark from mismatches.
And like, this was, again, her off season the previous year. Like, you can see how much skinnier Caitlin Clark was going into her senior season in college, going into the 23-24 season, versus what size she's coming into the 2025 season at. Like, it's huge for the Indiana Fever, because as long as it doesn't have any effect on her shooting.
Clark's transformation adds a new dimension to the Fever's lineup options. Her ability to guard wings and smaller forwards means the team can now explore small ball and three-guard lineups without compromising their defensive strength. This versatility opens up more strategic possibilities for the coaching staff.
And I think that even if it does slow her down a slight bit, as long as it doesn't slow her down too much, and it means that the Indiana Fever can be so much more versatile on the defensive end.
The strategic shift for the Fever is game-changing. With Clark's newfound strength, they can now implement switching schemes without the constant fear of mismatches. This opens up a more aggressive and versatile defensive identity, allowing the team to run plays they previously couldn't. It's like unlocking a new playbook that makes them even more dynamic on defense.
That's what separates a Caitlin Clark and a Sabrina, because they do the same thing, by the way. Like, they both are, I would say they're almost equivalent as far as their shooting is concerned. Like, Caitlin Clark just processes the game better. Like, that is the difference. I think as far as ability to make a pass, similar enough. Their gravity is similar. Caitlin Clark just processes the game significantly faster than Sabrina.
Clark's physical transformation expands her offensive game, allowing for more versatile plays like setting tough screens and attacking the basket with power. The Fever now have more offensive options beyond her shooting and passing. What makes this especially impactful is Clark's speed in processing the game, which complements her new strength. This mental edge means any slight decrease in speed from the added muscle won't affect her performance, as her mind stays ahead of the competition.